Okay, I'm back. I'm going to go over, we didn't have time to do lesson 23 in class, so I'm going to do 23 as a video. Unit multipliers is one of the more complicated concepts that when I get kids in Algebra 1, they don't know how to do, and it trips them up the whole way through Algebra 1. So we're going to try to get this down really well in Algebra 1 half so that you're really prepared for Algebra 1. So let's talk about unit multipliers. The basic unit of length in the U.S. customary system are the inch, the foot, the yard, and the mile. They are related by the following equivalences. So 12 inches, and you do have to memorize these, 12 inches equals 1 foot, 3 feet equal 1 yard, and 5,280 feet equal 1 mile. Now these are equivalents, so if you would put 12 inches over 1 foot in a fraction, it would be equal to 1 because they are equivalent. It's similar to putting 3 over 3 or putting 2 plus 3 over 5, something like that. So these are equivalent, they're the same. So let's sneak down here and talk about the other basic units in the U.S. customary system. They're the ounce, they're units of weight, not units of 8. The pound and the ton, and they are related by the following equivalences. 16 ounces equal 1 pound, and 2,000 pounds equal 1 ton. So as I said, they're unit multipliers because when you multiply anything by like 12 inches over 1 foot, since they're equivalent, it's the same as multiplying by 1. Now you can't really see it here because my fractions are so tiny, but over here I have a problem. 5 times 3 over 3 doesn't equal 1, it equals 5. Let's fix that. Equals 5. Because it's the same as multiplying by 1. So 3 over 3 is a unit multiplier. So we're going to use unit multipliers to convert various units into other units. So they're called a unit multiplier when we write one over top of another. So we have 12 inches over 1 foot, 1 yard over 3 feet, and 5,280 feet over 1 mile. These are called unit multipliers, just like 3 over 3 is called a unit multiplier. So to convert 5 feet to inches, this is a pre-example, I guess, we want to go from feet to inches, and you will use this a lot in chemistry. So the better that you can get this, the easier chemistry will be for you. So, and I'm sure physics has this as well. So if you're planning to go into science, this is really important. So if we want to convert 5 feet into inches, we start out with what we're given. So we're given our 5 feet, and we want to make it into inches. So we have to find the unit multiplier that has feet and inches in it. And if you look up here, this is our winner, 12 inches over 1 foot. So we're going to use that unit multiplier. So let me just slide over here. So we would take 5 feet, that's what's given. You can put it over 1, that kind of makes it easier in the end. And you can see that, remember we learned how with fractions just this week, we learned if we have something like this, that we can cross out the diagonal like numbers. So over here we have feet, and we're multiplying over feet, so the feet cross out, and we just take the numbers in the numerator. 5 times 12 is 60. So it's 60 inches. So that's what I was talking about in the last lesson. So we're going to do quite a few of these because they're slightly complicated. They don't look complicated when I do them. So after you get the hang of them, you can pause the video, which we're going to do later. We have extra practice, and you try them yourself and then watch the video and see if you got it, because it's always easier when you watch a teacher do it. So use a unit multiplier to convert 4,200 feet to yards. So you write what you're given, 4,020, I think I said 4,200, 4,020 feet, and we are going to go into yards. That's what we want to end up with, so we're going to put yards at the top. Whatever we want we're going to end up with, we put it in the top, because these unit multipliers can flip. For instance, 3 feet and 1 yard, we can do that. They're both the same. Or we could say 1 yard over 3 feet. they still equal 1 because they're still the same. So we need to pick the one where yards is on the top, and this one wins. So we're going to put 1 yard over 3 feet, like that. You always want to make sure what you start with is diagonal to what your unit multiplier. Your unit multiplier is diagonal to what you start with. So now this is a little math problem, so we're going to do 420, and we're going to divide it by 3, and you can do this on the side, but I'll do this real quick for you. 6, and we get 4, and we get 12, so it's going to be 140. So 420 divided by 3 is 140. So your answer is going to be 140 yards. And you need to make sure that you always write your units on your answers, or on test. You will miss a point. That's just 1 yard, so I'll leave it like that. Okay, let's try another one. So far you're probably thinking, these aren't too bad. I hope not. Okay, use a unit multiplier to convert 72 inches, and we're going to go into feet. So I'm going to just draw my little unit multiplier bar. And what do we want to go into? We're starting with this, and we're going into feet. So the feet are going to go on the top. And the inches are going to, I say diagonalize, but I don't think that's a word. I'm going to be diagonal to that. And then we just need to fill in what we know. We know that 12 inches equals 1 foot. It's really important if you put the one on the top or the bottom, and you determine that by first making sure that the unit here is diagonal to what you started with, and what you want to end up is at the top. So then we're just going to take and divide 72 by 12, and that's an easy one. That's just 6. And so the inches cross out. You're left with what you need. So it's just going to be 6 feet. And that's it. All right, we're going to keep going. They're not quite as easy as they look when you go to do them yourself. It looks like I have some extra practice. Oh, okay, we have a couple more up here. Okay, use a unit multiplier, that should be used, typo, a unit multiplier to convert 4.6 miles, ooh, we're talking decimals, to feet. So here we go. We're going to make our unit multiplier right here. The miles will be diagonal. So we're going to put the miles under here. What are we converting it to? We're converting it to feet. So what you start out with is here. What you end up, make sure it stays in the numerator. And then you might need to go back and look at those. You have a sheet for this, by the way, from class. So you can be working on the sheet. So you have to go back and look at your unit multipliers, which you'll memorize. And it's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Then you have to do the multiplication. 5,280 times 4.6 is going to equal 24,000. I use my calculator, cheated a little bit, is 24,288. And make sure you get your units. Now the miles are going to cross out, and we're going to get feet for our unit. That's what we converted it into. Okay, keep going. Use a unit multiplier. Now we're going to convert 4 tons into pounds. So we write our 4 tons. We'll just use a capital T for tons. And we're going to go into pounds. All right, so we put our tons down here. So make sure they're diagonal. Make sure what you're looking for stays in the numerator, and what you start with is right here. You can always put it over 1 if it makes a difference for you. Okay, we know that because we're memorizing our unit multipliers, there's 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So the tons will cross out. This is a nice simple one. So we get 4 times 2,000. It's going to be 8,000 pounds. If you can do these in your head, don't. We're getting into the habit of using unit multipliers, because later we're going to be adding more unit multipliers. They'll say use 4 unit multipliers to turn something into something. So we're starting out nice and slow, so make sure you do it the way that I'm showing you. Okay, extra practice. So what I want you to do in this extra practice is, you see it there, I want you, actually in your worksheet, I might have given you a little bit more help, but I want you to pause the video and try this, and then after you try it, start it up and watch what I do. So go. All right, hopefully you paused that video. So we're taking 412 feet and we're converting it into yards. We want yards, so the yards need to stay on the top. The feet need to diagonalize. And we're going to get 3 feet in 1 yard. So the feet cross out, and we're going to divide, hopefully you divided 412 by 3, and you get a nice ugly decimal number. 412 into yards. This is kind of unfortunate. So you're going to get, we can round it to 2 places. So it's going to be 137.33. You can round these to 2 places. When you round, we're going to use this approximate symbol. So we're rounding. And make sure you put your units on there. It's going to be yards. You could also just do a reduced fraction, but let's go with the decimal. I'm not sure what they do in the book. I need to look. Okay, so let's do the next one. We're going to convert 17,200 feet into inches. So stop the video and give this a try. Okay. So we have feet, we want it to be in inches, so inches have to go on the top. So there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So we're going to multiply. Okay, here's another common problem. Sometimes people start moving things and dividing by 12. If it's in the top, you want to multiply straight across. If this number that's not a 1 is in the denominator, you want to divide. So we'll multiply that 17,200 times 12 equals 206,400. The feet cross out because they're diagonal, right? And you're left with your inches, which is what you want. You want feet into inches. Now there's going to be a lot more inches in this many feet because there's 12 inches in every foot. So the number is going to get bigger. Okay. Next one, pause the video and work it. All right, I'm going to work it now. So we're doing 412 feet, and we're going into inches, and our feet are going to be on the bottom because, is the previous one, was it the reverse? No, it was the same thing. Okay, so we're going to put our 12 inches on the top, our 3 feet on the, or 1 foot on the bottom, and because there's 12 inches in 1 foot, the feet cross out, and you're just going to do 412 times 12, and you're going to get 4,944. And make sure you put your units on there, inches. Okay, we're going to do weight now. We're going to do ounces into pounds. So we have 48 ounces. Abbreviation for ounces is OZ, into pounds. Did you stop the video? If not, stop it and try it. And we're going into pounds, which is LBS. And we want our ounces on the bottom to be diagonal. So we're going to make those diagonal. And what do we have? I didn't even fill them in before I crossed it out. We have 16 ounces in 1 pound. Now, this is what I was talking about. It's tricky. Don't multiply the 48 and the 16. It's divided because it's in the denominator. So you're going to get 48 divided by 16, and that's going to be 3. So you're going to get 3 pounds. I hope that I made that clear enough. When it's in the denominator, you're going to divide it into it. It's going to be 48 over 16. All right, let's do one more. That's all I have for you, I think. We'll see. We have 40,000 pounds, and we're going to go into tons. So here we go. And the pounds are going to go in the denominator, and the tons are going to go in the numerator, because we need this to be diagonal and we want to end up with tons. So there's 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. This is a division problem again. You're going to be dividing because we have 40,000 over 2,000. And that's a division problem. So we look at this. We can cross out our zeros because we're dividing by 10, 100. We're dividing by 1,000. And your final answer is going to be 20 tons. All right, let's see what's on the next page. I'm not sure. Maybe nothing. Nope, that is it. So just a reminder, if it's in the denominator, I feel like I might not have made this clear enough. If it's in the denominator, like let's see if I can find one. Like this one, you're going to be dividing. If it's in the numerator, like one of these, here, you're going to be multiplying. All right, there are extra practice pages for you to try where I have the unit multiplier bar in there. Make sure you try those because I just did your practice problems for you. So try the problems that I have included. All right, if you have any questions, please email me. I have to get out of this first.